At the Mexican-U.S. border, more than 800,000 illegal immigrants have been detained this year as of May, compared to slightly over 4,000 at the U.S.-Canadian border.
Okay, let me tell you.
I'm just saying
let me ask this question.
It's the color of skin that's dealing with these borders.
Okay, they can go to. Let me say this. Canada right now, you can go over there. You can get free medicine. You can get free medical care. You can work. Why aren't they deflecting over to Canada then? Why?
They probably are. Some of them probably are going to Canada.
No, they're not.
Because guess what? They're not just stopping here.
Canada is not going to play that.
And let me tell you this.
Let them come in here and take down their country.
Eastern Bloc women are coming here like crazy. You can mail order bride you a wife from the Eastern Bloc just like nothing. Okay, while they talk about all the Mexicans that are sneaking over here, you don't have to sneak over here. Immigration is letting Eastern Bloc women in. They want more of that population.
Well, the real problem is that it's the psychology, it's the mind or worldview or thought process of somebody from a third world. One thing I noticed about the Mexicans, they not only pack up and live together, but they form gangs. They have very extensive gang networks in prisons, on the outside of prisons, and you mix that with some of that hatred. That Debbie's got a little bit of it. You mix that with that hatred with the gang.
I don't have hatred. I'm just being real, man.
Debbie got a misunderstanding going on.
No, I don't have a misunderstanding.
If anything, we ought to form some gangs too, and then get with the Mexican gangs and do our thing together.
I don't know. You feel like it's a joy to somebody for you to lift up, but I'm just looking at it from everybody else's point of view. That's why my child, your child, and everybody else's child can't get a job.
I'm not putting it on the Mexican. I'm putting it on these corporations and this U.S. government that's corporate controlled.
That's right.
That are doing things to the Mexicans and to the blacks and everybody else. And they ain't doing nothing but raking in all kinds of untold profits.
And that might be true, but I'm just saying, I don't feel like all of them deserve to stay here, man. If they would,
Debbie,
I just don't feel like they all deserve to stay here, okay?
Debbie, I'm going to turn into God and I'm going to change you instantly into a Mexican in Mexico. What are you going to do, Debbie?
Yeah.
If you're Mexican, what are you going to do?
I'm going home.
You going to stay in Mexico and be a slave?
I'm going home.
You're going to be a slave?
You're not going to go to Mexico.
But I tell you what.
I'm coming home. I ain't going.
A lot of Americans like to go to Mexico. They go to Cancun down there and Acapulco. What is that? And vacation and everything down there. And these
like Jesse Ventura. Yeah, Jesse Ventura.
He takes his
right.
He takes.
What did he do?
Yeah, he took his pension down there. He living like a king down there. He got
right. He wrote a book that Don't Start the Revolution Without Me. And the first thing he did is he went running off to Cancun, Mexico, or something like that.
He getting 2 or 3 Mexican women at a time. He doing everything he want to do down there. He balling out. And a lot of American the corporations down there, they set up some of the most beautiful communities you ever seen in Mexico. Golf courses, everything. And they patrolled by soldiers and everything to keep the Mexicans out, except the ones that's working there as slaves, serving the corporate interests and stuff that are there.
Well, the economic factors said that Mexico has a benchmark of interest rate of 4.5, which is a very big interest rate. Current inflation rate is 3.78. Okay? Population in Mexico is around 112 million people. 51% are women. 49% are men. The average life over there is 75.4 years. Mexico has no official religion as a country, but 87% of the population is Catholic literacy. So you're saying right now, let me see, what's the interest rate in America right now?
0. They had it at 0 for the longest.
Okay, what is it, 0? So right now their interest rate is better than ours, huh?
I'm just saying.
So why you want to deflect to a country that has a 0% interest rate?
No, their interest rate is not better than ours. Our interest rate right now, if you try to get a mortgage or something, what they doing, 3%? No.
Man, you can't even get 1% on a CD. 1%. You got $10,000 to put into a CD right now. You can't even get a good 1%.
I'm talking about
rate.
What you have to pay.
That's right. Because you know what? Our parents, their parents, our parents used to get 10%. We should get 10%. Hold on. What 10% is? What it is it gives you something solid money, something that you have faith in. There's no faith. It's all corrupt. That's why you're getting 1%.
Right.
It's ridiculous. That's why people can't wake up to nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember.
And that's all because of the Mexicans?
When
I don't think so.
When I started at the bank, a $10,000 CD would actually get you 7%. 7%. Okay? Which was a good turnaround. And right now you walk in there, $22,500 get you like it ain't even a percent really. $10,000 get you like 1%. 1%, man.
1%. Then the inflation rate is what? 4 or 5%?
Right.
You're losing when you put your money in the bank.
Right. So, I mean, to me right now, I don't know. Mexico sounds like maybe I want to go there and live.
Yeah, if you got a pension or something or some money coming, it'll be great for you to go down across that border and live in Mexico.
I'm not understanding why they want to really come here.
Because it's bad for them.
The dollar is steadily shrinking.
Debbie, it's bad for them. If you got American money going down there, it's better for you.
Right, but I'm saying,
see what I'm saying? You can go down there.
And that's why they're here, because they're sending their money right on back down there. And guess what? When they're ready to retire, they go down there and live like kings, because they come up here and made our money. They didn't put it. They didn't put it in our banks. They put it in their mattresses. They ate that rice. They ate them bean pies, and now they're going back to Mexico.
I would just tell the Mexicans to keep running, keep running, keep coming north, keep running. Do not be a slave for these corporate interests and etc. Keep doing your thing and press this country and the United States and Obama and whoever else is going to be the president to set this thing right as far as immigration policy goes and et cetera for the Mexicans.
I would say for my
Latinos.
child's sake and everybody else's child's sake that I need to donate to the Social Security so I can have some money when I turn 67, 13 years from now, go home.
Well, if they set it right, then the Mexicans will start paying into the Social Security.
If you want to get to the real root of the cause, you got to go progressive socialism. That's really the argument that's going on in the country now. I mean, in the 50s and 60s, we had an income tax for the upper top bracket, something like 80-90% before Reagan repealed it. We didn't used to have super rich. And look at the middle class in the 50s and the 60s, best that Americans ever lived. And there was rich people, but there weren't super, super rich people besides like maybe the Rothschilds or Queens. Yeah. Since then, since how they set this thing up, you're getting a whole class of people that has never happened before in the history of mankind, and that is people being able to be super rich. You multiply that with that certain class of people, that breed of people, so to speak, that people don't want to talk about. They packed up into a gang, they're super rich, and now you're just watching the whole globe just going into corporate fascism. I mean,
exactly
everywhere. It's almost over for us. Unless we get some progressive socialism back in here and cool things off, this whole thing, just more wars, it's just going to get
That's why we had that weak Occupy movement going on right now. This is a weak Occupy movement because all the occupations that I know of, it's usually the occupiers that are in control and that are running things. Like if the Israelis going to occupy the West Bank or whatever, they pretty much going to tell the West Bank what they can eat and where they can sleep. You know what I'm saying? And what they can get. What kind of Occupy movement is this? Well, you got to sleep in the park, and the people who you're supposed to be occupying is in mansions and palaces. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't want to jump in again too quick, but the thing is, I'm here in Chicago, and you guys know that. And there was I'm going to reiterate this again. There was 170 arrested last week, the week before last rather, and then last week there was 130. And I want to see what's going to happen coming up this Sunday. Again, I want to see what because Chicago here is this is real corruption here. You got Obama's right-hand man is over here, as mayor. Yeah, so go ahead. I'll run with that one. Right. Yeah, this Occupy over here is like a war zone with these, But hold on, I hope they break the city of Chicago because what are they going to do with these people? These people ain't got nothing to lose anyway. That's why they're doing it. Right. So I hope they keep doing it. I hope they let them out. I hope they keep getting. I would do it.
Obama's right-hand man.
When he leaves, what's got to happen? What's going to happen? Or we're going to get a false flag. Something's going to give. And what's got to happen is we got to get Newt Gingrich and Ron Paul and some of those conservative black shirts, and then the Occupy people got to go socialist with Obama, and you got to get the people at one another, because if that doesn't happen, and you don't have the final discussion on how we're going to go forward, and I think it's progressive socialism, but if we don't decide on that, then what's going to happen is somebody posted before that somebody's going to bring a gun, and you're going to hear a gunshot, and then all of a sudden it's going to start. And that's the end of the Occupy movement, and the only thing the one worlders can do after that to maintain control is go a false flag. They're not going to let the guns start going off. So either we go brown shirts against black shirts in the street, fighting each other. We can't do a Greece model. Greece, it's the people against the government. And that's where you get into a civil war. Or they're going to go a false flag. So this thing's got to be decided one way or another. And I just think that we just need to, black shirts against brown shirts. That's about the most peaceful way we can do it.
Yeah, well, sleeping in a park, you ain't doing nothing but occupying some grass, and creating a sanitary problem.
I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm reading a test that you got to take to become American citizen, man. And it's like, wow, this is like the stupidity test. Name your U.S. representatives. We elect U.S. representatives for how many years? The House of Representatives has become voting members. How many
Who's
senators?
your representative?
I don't know. I don't really care.
Right. Most Americans don't know.
Really. I mean, but I'm saying this is really the stupidity test.
Yeah, well, at least a Mexican that was trying illegal that was trying to get legal would know these answers.
But let me tell you this. Really? You think so?
Yeah, they would want to pass the test and get their legal status. So
what did the Declaration of Independence do? What did it do?
Nothing for us. It didn't apply to us.
How many amendments does the Constitution have?
1776 didn't do nothing for blacks. We were slaves up until 1865.
What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? What is an amendment? I mean, this is questions that they really got to answer to become a citizen here in the USA.
Yeah, you got to know a little bit about the history of the country.
Man, most of them can't even speak good English.
Well, they take
and
English
unfortunately,
classes.
that's another thing that does bother me. That does bother me, that the first option on the phone menu and you call these corporations.
No, Debbie, you're wrong. That's a misnomer.
What?
Most Mexicans can speak English. They only act like they can't. Yeah. Almost all of them can speak English. Really? They just act like, oh yeah, they fool you. They talk in Spanish and everything, and then you talk to them and no English, and they just but that's all a lie. They all know the basis of English and can understand. Don't trust me. They learn that really quick. It's like learning money. Okay, yeah. It doesn't take a child but a couple of months to learn what money is.
Right.
Mexican comes to this country, they learn English pretty doggone quick. Now they may not be able to speak it that well, but they know it. But they only act like they don't know it to give them an advantage. That's a misnomer that Mexicans don't know English.
Well, I guess I'm been out of shape because, now it's becoming the first button on the phone when you call someone. If you need Spanish, press 1. Now, I don't even think they ask if you need American anymore.
English, yeah.
The English. I think they just say if you need Spanish, press 1.
Well, we coming up on our time here, and I just want to say that the Mexicans are victims. They're running for freedom from a slave state. Okay, so I'm not gonna blame the Mexicans, and the Mexicans that have come here and have worked for little or nothing, they've done us a service. One that I am grateful for, and etc. And I wish that things could be better for the Mexicans here. I don't want to see them kicked out and the kids stay and all kind of different things and all this inhumane type activity happen to Mexicans and Latinos and etc. No, I'm not for that. And I'm sure you're not for that. Obama should ante up on the promises that he made to the Mexicans and find a way for them to be here legally.
Well, the only thing I want Obama to do is find a way for me to get a job and all my children that need to work here to contribute to the Social Security to get a job. A real job. Not working at McDonald's at 40.
Debbie, you got a right to be angry because, when it comes right down to it, it is the black male that really, they're the ones that of all the people that really took it in the ear, they're the ones that got it.
The only thing that's going on now is the